What's going on YouTube? So the Rivian lineup has really been blowing up recently on the success of the R1S and the R1T. However, those are very expensive luxury SUVs. And now I'm standing next to the next step for the Rivian brand. So this is the R2. This is going to be a vehicle that kind of packages in that same kind of design and feel of the R1S, but for a much more affordable price of about $45,000. And we're gonna go ahead and take a first look at it. Now, like I was just saying, really this R2 takes a lot of what we love about the R1S and just kind of shrinks it down. And you'll notice that immediately up here in the front. So this has the same kind of overall design as that R1S with those signature elements from the Rivian brand, including the really thick light bar that's gonna go all the way across the front, and then those signature round accents which surround our stacked LED crystal headlights. Overall, it's just a very sophisticated look that also does have a nice rugged edge to it as well. You'll notice down below, kind of supporting that ruggedness, is that you have those integrated recovery hooks as well. And ground clearance, we don't have a specific number on, but does look pretty decent for this model. Now moving on to the wheels, obviously there are going to be some different sizes available, but this is a large 21-inch alloy wheel. I love the look of these tires. The rims really accent the overall design. We've got kind of an aerodynamic inspired shape, but they've added these contrast elements inside of the aerodynamic bits to kind of give it a more traditional look as well. Peeking below that, you have some kind of yellow looking brake calipers that match with the overall badging on the vehicle, including our little Rivian here in our molding. That's going to be a matte black finish. That's also going to run down below on the side of the vehicle. And then we've got some gloss black accents up here with our mirrors. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of specifics about what types of features and technologies that this will have on the mirrors. Obviously, you're going to have some type of blind spot monitoring system, heating, things that you expect. We also have a camera, as you can see, located right here on the end.
Now, like Drew said at the very beginning, this R2 is quite a bit smaller than something like the R1S, which you can see right over to my right. It's actually, overall vehicle length is 185 inches, which is about 15 inches shorter than that flagship SUV. Although I will say, here in person, the design looks very similar, and it also has a very substantial look to it as well. It doesn't look like a small SUV. Now, as far as, vehicles that you might be comparing this to, this would be very comparable to a luxury compact, such as a BMW X3 or Mercedes GLE. But I'm going to give Drew just a second to reposition himself, and we'll go ahead and check out the back. And now that you have a good look of the rear of this vehicle, I have to say I love it here in person. It really does just shrink that R1S overall design language. And as far as some of the unique design characteristics that you'll notice, up here at the very top we have kind of a spoiler system, but it's really unlike most other spoilers in the fact that it just wraps around, and then there's some arrow bits through there, and then dropping down into the lower fascia, this of course is going to be your full-length Rivian taillight. It brings family resemblance to other Rivian products, and then we of course have the big Rivian branding through there. We do expect this taillight cluster to be a full LED setup, standard on every single model. Now as we drop down, you'll see your R2 branding. All of this is going to be finished in a nice piano black. Of course, this is an electric vehicle, so there's not going to be any exhaust outlets, and we're still waiting on an official tow rating. Now, one more thing I did almost forget to mention is the fact that this rear glass will actually roll down. So for those of you that love the 4Runner's ability to do that, this R2 will also be able to do that, which I also love. Now, as far as your safety systems, we don't have official information just yet. However, we do expect every single safety feature to be standard equipment on the R2. And also on the R2, you're going to have a quite nice cabin. So let's go ahead and dive into that. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
And if you want to know about all the latest and greatest rides, then make sure to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the newest cars. All right, now it's time to go ahead and climb inside this new R2. I'll let Mason kind of peek in first and get that overall view of this interior. But guys, really, just like the exterior, you're going to notice a lot of stuff from the R1S. This is a very much kind of a miniaturized design theme. And that is certainly a great thing because, as we said, this is a much more affordable product, but you're going to have a ton of luxury inside of this interior. Now, let's take a look at our seats here. First of all, we've got a very distinct seat design. It's got that multi-part look to it with a lot of different stitching details that match with other Rivian products. This is a synthetic leather, but feels super realistic and again has a good look to it. There'll be a lot of different design themes, I'm sure, available just like with the R1S, although official specifics have not been announced yet on that. Lots of adjustability as well, including a 4-way lumbar support. And we'll go ahead and climb inside so we can take a look at some of the more specific details. Now, when we spent time with the R1S, we were really kind of blown away by the overall cabin materials, and you'll notice a lot of the same, like really beautiful and authentic materials inside of here. The thing that really especially draws my attention right off the bat is, of course, this big, beautiful piece of open pore wood. It's so authentic that I feel like you could get a splinter from it. It's actually very rough to the touch and just looks absolutely fantastic. That same wood is actually inside of the steering wheel as well. And then you've got a leatherette material that goes across the top through there. They're using some cloth accenting for a variety of materials, and that same kind of stuff reflects over on the door trim as well. But obviously we're indoors here. We already have the vehicle kind of fired up with some of the electronics. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to get. So 2 different displays on board when it comes to the technology. You've got your driver display right there in front of the steering wheel. By the way, both these displays are extremely vivid, like highest quality that I've really ever seen in a vehicle. Absolutely beautiful. You can customize different things inside of the display. There's not a head-up display though, so I am pointing that out, but overall, like I said, a good view and vantage out. The dashboard itself is very flat, so it's giving you a lot of good visibility with these big side windows as well. Now, I already talked a little bit about the steering wheel itself. Of course, the cool thing about it are these big knobs here, which you can use to adjust various features inside the vehicle, including right there, we're adjusting the volume of the audio system. The steering wheel itself is power, tilt, and telescoping as well. And then your shifter's up there actually in the column, which frees up a lot of space for storage, of course. So let's kind of take a peek inside at some of the storage. If I open this up, of course, we have got some stuff inside, but as you can see, really deep, nice storage cubby. That's probably just a little temporary key there. We also have a nice storage cubby right there. And then we have the ability to kind of reach down here and slide out that tray like you have in the R1S. And then, guys, look at this storage right here. Absolutely tremendous storage where you can stick all types of different types of objects like a purse or something like that. Groceries, anything would be able to fit in there. Now, as far as this main display, obviously this is a gigantic display with, again, beautiful graphics. And this also has the zonal architecture. So both the infotainment system and just the whole vehicle itself can be updated over the air. This is something that Rivian is so good at, of course, that Volkswagen recently has paid $5 billion to have access to this software platform. So you're going to notice just a lot of different functionality. It's going to be very nice and smooth when you adjust things like the climate controls. You have a lot of details here. This does, by the way, have the vents that you can adjust inside of the display itself versus actually having something to grab. You have front and rear controls. Obviously, this is a prototype vehicle, so not everything is going to be fully functional, but this kind of gives you a good taste of what some of the features inside the system are going to look like. Up top, you've got an auto-dimming mirror, and then we've got a big, beautiful panoramic sunroof. This is a single piece. It has a pretty exceptional range because it goes all the way from side to side, but it doesn't have a sunshade and it does not open up.
So let's talk about the rear seat area in this R2. And I have to say, wow, this is my first time being back here, and boy, does it feel open and spacious, especially compared to other vehicles you might be cross-shopping this vehicle with. At 185 inches, it is very comparable to a BMW X3, Mercedes GLC, and there just feels like there's a ton of room. Now, we don't have official legroom and headroom figures. However, I would say the headroom is going to be extremely impressive, and this full glass roof really just makes it feel very open and airy. The legroom is also quite good. We are at an auto show, so I don't have time to get all my measuring devices, but we are looking at quite a lot of legroom for someone who's 5'9" like myself. My feet can also slide up underneath of the seat, and of course, the floor is going to be completely flat as well. As far as features, we have vents here in the center area. We also do have 2 USB-C ports, and I am noticing that there are heated seat buttons right there in the center. Additionally, as far as other features are concerned, we have a little coat hook, another USB-C port. The headliner is going to be made of this really nice premium suede material, and while I'm up here at the roof, I do want to point out we have metal speaker grills integrated up there, so I'm sure we'll have a fantastic audio system as well. As far as the door trim is concerned, really nice one, lots of leatherette, some more of that cloth trim, as well as a ton of storage. And now let's go ahead and check out the cargo area as well. So certainly having that boxy shape benefits you when it comes to interior headroom as well as the overall spacious feel, but it's also going to benefit you when it comes to cargo capacity. In a segment where a lot of the options are going to be sloped down, this is a very squared off overall design. And, once again, we don't have official cargo measurements. However, I would expect to see quite a lot of cargo capacity if we fold those seats down. They do fold 40-20-40 split folding, by the way, and there are buttons here on the left side to fold those seats down. So I'd expect a very practical overall cargo capacity. In addition to that, Rivian is also including a frunk on this R2 as well. So not just the space here in the rear, you also have additional space in the front area.
Let's talk a little bit about what is powering this Rivian R2. Now, I just want to start off by saying, once again, this is early on. We wanted to give you guys a very early first look at this R2, but because of that, there's not a lot of, finalized specifications that are available on this product. However, we're assured by Rivian, this, of course, is a next-generation product, so it's going to have all the latest and greatest things powering it. And we do have some estimations of certain things, which I'll tell you right now. So first of all, this is going to come in 3 different variants. You're going to have a single motor, a dual motor, and a tri-motor all-wheel drive system. Corresponding to each of those is going to be different power figures that we don't have specific numbers, but we do know one of them is going to be faster 0 to 60 than 3 seconds, so that would assumedly be the tri-motor version. Now, also, the other thing you should know is that the range is estimated on at least one of the variants to be above 300 miles. So you are still going to get very good range figures, even though this is going to likely have a smaller battery pack than the R1S.
But I'm sure you're wondering, what is the pricing and what is the availability of this R2? Well, as far as pricing is concerned, like we said, we don't have official numbers yet for the entire lineup. However, Rivian has said that they are targeting a $45,000 starting price. So that's what you can expect to find maybe on one of the more basic models. If you're looking for my professional estimation, I would say maybe from the 45 to 60,000-ish range would be very much on par with some of the other luxury compact offerings that you might be looking at. Now, if you're looking to buy one and are curious about the availability, Rivian says this will be available coming in 2026. So not quite this year, however, next year is when you can expect to start seeing deliveries of this very cool luxury product. Now, of course, if you're new to the channel and haven't already hit that subscribe button down below, we would really encourage you to subscribe down below because you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. If you're looking to buy a Rivian R1S or any new vehicle, we would also encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to secure the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. And guys, that's going to be it for our Rivian R2 first look review. Of course, stay tuned to the channel. We hope to be covering this product in much more detail later on and go through all the features and trim levels as that information becomes available. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.